Real Talk with Mo. Like, subscribe, share, comment. It's the only place you're going to get the real talk, right? Down to earth. No bias, no agendas. I ain't trying to sell nothing, right? No lifestyle or nothing like that. I'm just giving you the real talk, especially for the young people, men and women. Just trying to make the world a better place. My son got to grow up in it, so I wanted to, just want to do my part. So check us out, YouTube. Little More Podcast, also on Instagram. TV Lifestyle Apparel is the wear. So I wanted to talk about the D Wade situation, man. That, I don't know, man. Like, the way the world is going, it's crazy. Because if you were to say this, and it's not even like, years of separation. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like, 30 years ago. This is like, if you was to say this 10 years ago, this would sound so crazy that nobody would believe you. And this is why I say, when you listen to people that's talking, right? Sometimes, they go to the extremes on certain things. And a lot of people use that. But some things, you gotta kind of, some things you gotta take with a grain of salt, and then some things you gotta really like, this possibly could happen. Especially when you see a certain type of route we're going, right? And the route we're going with this whole gender thing is like, I don't think there's no limitations to it, because once you allow certain type of, like, which I see like delusion, then anything is accessible, or or able to go there, right? We're able to go there if we start to take delusion like this. And the reason why I say that is, because where's this stop at? Who is not going to be offended, or somebody saying we're discriminating against them if we stop here? The D Wade thing, like, listen, in the end of the day, like, if you home and this is what you want to do, and somehow you come to the conclusion that this is okay, I'm fine with that. Like, I don't care what you do, right? I'm pretty sure D Wade wasn't the first one, right, to even go down that path, right? He's just the first one that's a celebrity, that's acknowledging it, that's all that. I'm pretty sure there's some other people in other states, California probably, to be honest, that tried to change their kids' gender, or tried to get them to, like, we call it a different. I'm pretty sure before D Wade this was happening. I'm almost guaranteeing, like, I just wouldn't put it past, especially California. So I'm not saying, so, it's not him per se, it's, bringing it to light. He's trying to be like a, almost like a, stop, like a drug thing, like, like, just say no to drugs. Like, he's like the child, like the, I forgot what, I'm trying to think of the word, but he's like the poster child for it, the poster parent, the poster, family for it. And it's like, come on, man. To be honest with you, like, my opinion on it is that I think it's just delusion. I think, people are kids especially, they're easily molded, man. You easily can push a kid, right? Like, I just could see it in my son. Like, if I wanted to, right, I could do say certain things that he does, or certain things that he's doing, and turn him and push that a little bit on him, right? But I'm not giving him anywhere, I'm not guiding him anywhere, right? So this is what I don't understand about the parenting thing, especially now. I don't understand, man. Like, my job is to guide my son in the ways of a man, right? And this has nothing to do with wearing pink, right? Or wearing certain types of, actually it does have something to do with wearing certain types of clothes and stuff like that, but it has nothing to do with, like, more feminine or more masculine to a certain point, right? It's just teaching him the ways of a man, right? I guide him and show him the ways to be a father, ways to be a husband, ways to be a brother, right? A male friend, right? I show him that. Right? I guide him in those ways, right? To be a good son-in-law, a good father, you know what I mean? Like, I show him that, right? To be a good uncle, I show him that. So if I wanted to, I could also, and then my wife shows him how a mother is supposed to, a mother-in-law, sister, right? She shows him that too, right? But my job is to, is to guide him down that path, because we're the same we're same gender, like we're both males, right? It's like back in the days. If you go back in the days, like there was no social constructs in caveman days, right? This is what is like so puzzling to me, and there's so many smart people, man. And I know they smart. You know what it is? I know half the time they're trying to use, manipulate, and they're smart. They're not stupid, man. A lot of these people ain't stupid. A lot of people that do talk about this are really smart people, for the most part. I know they got college degrees and educate, all that. My thing is, go back to like caveman days, and like there's no social construct that the man goes out there and hunts and the woman stays at home or has kids, right? They figured out that they had to figure it out, or they would have been dead. But they figured out that a guy puts his penis into a woman, right? And that he can't put his penis into a man, right? They figured out those things then. And this is not, I'm just trying to give you an example. I know we're talking about people changing their sex, whatever it is, but I'm saying, this is what I'm saying about, in those days we figured that out. People in tribes that have never seen the internet, don't have any type of social context, grew up, that tribe had to start somewhere, right? The tribe had to start where they were like, all right, well, you look like you more physically fit, like you're gonna go and hunt the man without the titties, right? They had to come to these conclusions without any type of pushing from anybody. So if they came to these conclusions like that was just nature, right? Nature, natural wise, like a lion, at one point, the lion has to figure out that the male lion is bigger, stronger. I'm going to hunt. You're going to have the babies. And I'm not going to hunt. They don't hunt. But I'm going to go out and protect the tribe pride. You're going to hunt and raise the children, right? There had to be a point, right? If there's a start to everything, there had to be a point where this became something, right? There might have been times where it wasn't, but it had to start at somewhere. Cavemen, right? Tribes that never seen an internet, right? So they've never seen anything outside of, their forest or their area, their region, right? There had to be a point where they saw this, and it was just natural. I hate when people try to fight this like it's like a man-made thing. It's not. It's natural. This is the way nature was intended to work, right? So I have no problem with what you do on your own, right? That's up to you, and that's how I just really don't like when you try to change the terms or change the facts about certain things and the truth about certain things to fit your thing. That's where we're going, like down a really, really bad path. Like, I have no problem with what you do at home, who you're with. I don't care at the end of the day. It don't mean shit to me. But don't try to change the factual and the truth just so it can fit you, right? I cannot deal with, right? And that's what I'm saying about with even the D-Wade thing or anything like that. It's like you trying to change the narrative, like gender is something that's, and we're not born. We're born like this. Males are born more testosterone. These are facts. Like all this stuff, more muscle than we're different. That's it. Men, women, totally different. People always get to the extremes where they're like, oh, what about this? Bro, listen. 90, we're talking about 90% of men, 90% of women. It could be even higher than that, but I'm going to say 90-90. Those men and women are born this way. General, right? They're all born this way. 90%. The 10% you can have. The 90% of each male and female born this way. In other countries, they don't even have this conversation. They're not even having this topic of discussion right now. Right? And they will probably never have it. Right? Because those people are still, they love only in America, because we got people that hate America, we got people that don't, culture, and we got a bunch of different I don't know. We just we mixed up, and that's what makes us great. At a certain point, that we got every different culture here, and everybody can, that's why we got Chinese food, we got, Indian food, we got, a restaurant, we got Indian clothes makers, we got all sorts of stuff. It's a great thing, beautiful thing. But I'm saying is, those people come over, they don't adopt most of that shit either. So, I say all that say is like, his job was to to raise and train his son into the ways of being a man. Right? That was his job. Maybe he didn't do well in that. Maybe because he was a superstar, he was playing basketball, he don't have time, he was busy. Right? And maybe that's the thing. Right? And I'm not, his fault. Everybody, has faults. I'm not perfect. But I'm saying maybe that's what happened, and he was around, Gabrielle Union, who doesn't have kids, who doesn't really care about that, right? Like when you don't have kids, I think I'm just gonna let you know, like when I have kids, I didn't care about kids. I didn't give a shit, right, about none of that. Like kids were like, right. I talked so many years of, I'm not having no kids, not right now, right? So many years. Right, and I used to put it out there, and I see kids, I'm running away. Like I'm going to the other side of the room because I'm not dealing with no kids. I don't care if they family or what it is. It's just I didn't find that like let me hug your kid, let me my niece, my nephew. I didn't like kids. So people who don't have kids, I know what they feeling. They can say whatever they want to say. But for the most part, I can understand for them, how they feel sometimes. Right, kids. Right, and then when you have one, it's totally different. It changed my whole life, my whole perspective. I got my legacy, like my son, like he's my DNA living on after I die. Right, a piece of me that keeps going. That makes it more serious, more like this is real life. Like this is something I gotta, this is my job. What other job I got? To work, to die, to own businesses, to happy. Like my only real job is to keep my legacy going and have my son to move on and pass on my DNA. That's like the real thing that's actually worth something for me. So I can understand, like, we around Gabrielle Union. Gabrielle Union is don't have no kids. She's in Hollywood. She might want to be a star, right? That's why she's not. Like, she gets to speak out. She don't even have no movies. She ain't even acting or doing anything particular, but she gets to speak at like things, right? She gets interviews for what? The only reason she get interviews is because, well, one, it could be she's D-Wade's wife, but D-Wade ain't even important no more. D-Wade is just a ex-basketball player who is a great basketball player. He don't do anything. Like, they don't do anything. They into fashion and all that, but other than that, I'm saying they're not important in the big scheme of things. They're not doing anything. But why do you interview Gabrielle Union? Because you want to talk about their family. You want to talk about the kids, and she likes that. Like, she wants to be in the spotlight, right? Because if you didn't, then you would just, I'm not going to do an interview, whatever. But you want to do it. I want to bring light to this and this. You know what I mean? Like, that's what she wants to do. Anyways, so, what I'm saying is, when you start to indulge in this delusion, you go down a crazy path, man. Like, I don't care what people say, bro. Like, men cannot be women and women cannot be men. That's just facts. You could be a feminine woman, a feminine man. You could be a masculine man, a woman, right? That doesn't matter to me. But you cannot be a man, cannot have a woman. Like, I've seen arguments with smart people. Mark Lamont Hill, right? Super smart guy. Right? I think I went to PhDs and shit. And when you say, can men have babies, right? He gets asked a question, and I remember this was on the Candace Owens show. He asked a question, can men have babies? Well, it depends on what men you're talking about. What are you talking about, man? This is what I'm saying about delusion, and you really smart. That doesn't make any sense. Are we even talking? Like, are we on the same planet? Like, who does that? So that's what I'm saying about the delusion and about the smart people, right? This real smart, intellectuals, they know better. At the end of the day, they really do. When you ask them the question, either they don't want to answer it, or they look at you and you know what they want to say, but they ain't gonna say it, because if they say it, then they're done. They can never talk about that again, right? Like Mark Lamont Hill could never be a trans activist, right? He can never, push for trans rights, right? He can never do that again once he says that a man can have a baby, right? Because he's done. They're gonna push him right out. So they got to be careful what they say, and they're really smart. That's why I said, you know what I mean. And the whole thing with that, like I said, bro, if in privacy, if you wanted to do that, he ain't even, like, we didn't have to know about any of that. His son for all these years, like Magic Johnson's son, I've never really seen Magic Johnson's son, and I don't have no problem. Magic Johnson's son is Magic Johnson's son. It is what it is. I've never seen Magic Johnson's son, right? If he's not in a picture and somebody don't post him on Shade Room or one of these Instagram, social media things, I never see him. I don't even know that he has a gay son and he has a straight son. I never know. You know why? Because he's not in the spotlight. The only people that put him in the spotlight is people that want to, throw shade at him or whatever. But other than that, you don't see him. I mean, I don't know about him. Nobody knows. If I ask a bunch of people, you ever see Magic Johnson? A lot of people are going to say no. Because he's not in the spotlight. He's not trying to show him. Now, if he was walking in pride parades with him and carrying him around and be like, oh, you got to accept my, then we'd be something else. That's what I'm saying. Like, you keep that to yourself, bro. That's between you and your family, right? This whole, like, trans thing. Bro, listen, trans, especially when they go to, like, black trans people are dying or bro, they're murdering by themselves. And there's a small percentage of black people that are trans, right? Really small. But they murdering themselves, right? Most time they kill each other or they commit suicide. But that's not something that the world is responsible for, right? That's just like, it's like, come on, bro. Like, we gotta, there's something going on. If that's happening so much in this, see, we used to look at stuff, if that was happening so much in one society, that we would look into why that's happening, right? And we would look into, like, the people themselves and maybe what they're around. With this one, we don't look at that. We look at the outside of, trans community. It's the outside making it happen. No, there's something going on there, right? And it's probably been researched and all over. So I say all that to say, man, it's getting really long. Damn. Like, listen, I don't go for none of that, right? That whole, like, change your gender, change your sex, I guess. You know what I mean? Gender, sex, they make names. We just change everything up, and none of that goes with me. Like, I'm not even seeing that. And I know a lot of people, majority of people don't go for it. They just don't want to, you don't want to get banned from anything, right? But, like, and then, just to even say about, because we bring in, like, sexual, like, 16-year-old, 15-year-old, whatever, however old he is like, why are we even involved in that? Like, dating, you're like, I don't know, man. It's just weird, man. It's really weird. And that's why I say, man, like, even in the schools, I hear, some weird, it's getting wild in the schools, and, girls in middle school and elementary, and boys and, starting to ask about gender. And I don't know, man. Only thing I would suggest you do is not even a private school. Send your kids to a religious school, a Christian school, a Catholic school. To be honest with you, I don't even know about Catholic. Christian school, we might have to check those too, because some of them are woke too. But I would say send them to those, one of the Christian school, look at it. At least you got some type of backing to help you out. Because the world crazy, man. It's crazy. I wish I could get into more of this. I'm going to get into more to talk about more, maybe on a little more podcast, man. Check us out.